ain't the new 20. So don't get it mixed up, Coke and Henny. 40 ain't the new 20. And if you think so, you been smoking like it's 420. 40 ain't the new 20. I ain't hating, just speaking truth. 40 ain't the new 20. Cause pill popping and TikToking ain't what we used to. I need my space, not Snapchat.
Yeah. Cause pill popping and TikToking ain't what we used to. That's right. I want to welcome y'all to this very special day. Welcome to the 40 Ain't the New 20 podcast. I am super excited to be here today. This is like my baby, you know. Thank you guys for coming out, checking out the podcast. I promise you have just stepped into a unique, one-of-a-kind experience. I want to take this time on this pilot episode, the first episode, just to introduce myself, just to let you guys know, who is K4P, who is King 40 Plus. I mean, I'm not going to bore y'all with my whole life story or anything like that, but I just want to give you a real quick bio of who I am and how this whole idea of this podcast came about. And I ask forgiveness in advance because I am just recording this. And this is the way I want to do this show. It's not going to be technically perfect. I most certainly am not going to be technically and fluent and doing it. I'm just basically turning the camera on and let it ride for the most part. But anyway, yeah, it's your boy K4P, King 40 Plus. Originally born in St. Louis, Missouri, mostly raised in Mississippi, Northeast Mississippi. Shout out Aberdeen, Mississippi. It's where I went to high school and grade school. Graduated from high school, went straight into the Marine Corps. Hoorah, Semper Fi. I was a combat videographer in the Marine Corps. That's how I developed my love for video production. Okay. Did the 4 years in the Marine Corps, got out, moved to ATL, Atlanta, Georgia, in the heyday of the ATL. When Buckhead was Buckhead, anybody repping ATL know exactly what I'm talking about. While I was in the ATL, I also worked for Fox News, NBC, and ABC as a freelance video editor. And around the pandemic time, well, at this time actually I was in ATL, I developed a interest in producing music. Now keep in mind, I did video production, for at this point over about 20 years. All right. The video intro that you guys watched, that was all me, produced, edited, everything by me. Any of my music videos, produced, edited by yours truly. But anyway, I got into producing music and, via YouTube University, come to find out that producing music tracks and video editing, the platforms were very similar. So during the pandemic where everybody was locked down inside, that was my situation as well. Just like most of us creatives, we started exploring in other creative areas. So I got into producing, I got into writing. 40 Ain't the New 20 was my very first song that I wrote. I did not produce the track. I actually purchased the track online. So I did not produce that one. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie about that. The beat that you guys hear all throughout the song, I didn't produce that one, okay? But I did write the song and I performed the song. And so that's the first thing I wanna do, because 40 Ain't the New 20 is not only the title of the podcast. 40 Ain't the New 20, the lyrics of 40 Ain't the New 20 come from a place where, I explored, the humorous side of being 40 plus years old. So I want to dive into the track. Of course, you can stream it on all platforms. I'll have links below the video where you can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever you stream your music, you can find it, as well as my full EP. But I want to kind of get into the song that started it all. We're going to play the full track, and I'm going to just go through and break down these lyrics, and then you'll see, how this song inspired the podcast and some of the topics that we will be discussing on this podcast in the very near future. Check it out.
So a homie of mine had a little get together at his crib to celebrate his 40th born day. Somebody asked him how it feels to hit the big 4-0. So I guess he was kind of feeling himself and was like, brand new. You know what they say, 40 is the new 20. I just shook my head, took a sip of my crown and broke it down to him like this. 40 ain't the new 20. So don't get it mixed up. Coke and Henny, 40 ain't the new 20. And if you think so, you've been smoking like it's 420. 40 ain't the new 20. I ain't hating, just kicking truth. 40 ain't the new 20. Cause pill popping and TikToking ain't what we used to. I need MySpace, not Snapchat. Y'all texting all the time, can't even chit chat. And I'm getting no peace from young cats in the street calling me Unc and OG. When young baddies say I'm old as their father, I can't even bother. Need Pepto, can't even eat like I want to. Cause everything made me number 2. 40 ain't the new 20. And even though time's hard, I thank God that I got plenty. King 40 plus, aka K4P, 40 plus MC dropping heat. 40 ain't the new 20. It's going down, crown on my head, and I got the crown poured up in my cup, and I ain't got no lean in it, but it's doubled up. Hey, 40 ain't the new 20, so don't get it mixed up. Coke and Henny, 40 ain't the new 20. And if you think so, you've been smoking like it's 420. 40 ain't the new 20. I ain't hating, just kicking truth. 40 ain't the new 20. Cause pill popping and TikToking ain't what we used to.
Yeah. Yeah, 40 ain't the new 20. 40 ain't the new 20. So you can clearly hear how that song, inspired, this podcast, where we are today. Just want to kind of breeze through some of these lyrics and, so you guys can get an idea of what kind of topics that, we may touch on later in the show. So the song starts off, I need MySpace, not Snapchat. Y'all texting all the time, can't even chit chat. So of course, back in my day, we had MySpace pages. It wasn't no Instagram, it wasn't no TikTok, it wasn't none of that, okay? We had a MySpace page. I most definitely had a MySpace page, okay? So I need MySpace, not Snapchat. I never been on Snapchat, okay? I'm 40 plus. I never been on Snapchat. Don't know nothing about that. Y'all texting all the time, can't even chit chat. Back in my day, we, first of all, if we had a cell phone, when we for our first cell phones, I think mine was like a StarTAC. I'm gonna put that on the screen so y'all can check that out, see who remember that one. But yeah, I loved my StarTAC. It was like a flip. The Ballers, they had their what do you call it? Their Sky pagers and all that. I think you had to talk to an operator or something, and then it sent the message. It was something like that. But I know it was for Ballers. Only Ballers had that. So, it wasn't no texting. It wasn't text messaging didn't come around until, later on, But yeah, nowadays, all people want to do is, the younger folks, they just want to text all the time, they don't want to talk, And I'm going to be honest, it's kind of rubbed off on me because I'm getting to be the same way, I come from the era where there was landlines, where your mom used to pick up the phone on you and, and be nosy and, embarrass you, y'all don't know the struggle, your tweens, 20-year-olds right now, teenagers especially, YNs, whatever you want to call it, y'all really don't know the struggle for sure, okay? And I'm getting no peace with young cats in the street calling me Unc and OG. All right, now I know y'all 40 plus fellas can relate to those lyrics. Unc and OG. All right, I can't even go in no gas station, can't get no gas. You know, appreciate that OG, appreciate that OG. Now I'm hearing OG more than I'm hearing Unc, you know, nowadays. I used to hear Unc a lot more. So I saw a post on Facebook and I think it said like the Unc cutoff is like 34 or something like that, which is crazy. So after 34 years old, I guess you officially an OG at that point. But it's all good. I'm gonna have a t-shirt line, merch coming out. You guys are gonna see that. And I have a design that says proud to be called Unc or OG. I'm gonna put that up on the screen, you know, so y'all be able to order that. Right on there. Need Pepto, can't even eat like I want to, cause everything make me number 2. All right, so hey, I know y'all relate to that one. You know, if you keep it all the way 100, you know what I'm saying? You eat in your 20s, you eat whatever you want to. You know, all kind of pizza, hot dogs, French fries. It just don't matter. You know, you have that iron stomach. I know I was in the Marines at that time, so I used to eat, drink. No issues whatsoever. But nowadays, you know, man, it seems like the better it tastes for you, the more you suffer for it. You know, straight up. Pepto is like one of my number 1 friends. You know, anybody else that's in this age bracket, if you're honest, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, baby. Yes, sir. Can't even eat like I want to, because everything made me number 2, 48 the new 20. And even though time's hard, I thank God that I got plenty King 40 Plus, AK K4P, 40 Plus MC dropping heat. Yeah, I said MC because that's what I grew up off of, MCs, okay? MC Light, MC Shan, MC Ren off NWA, MCs, that's right. I think the proper term is what, Master of Ceremonies or whatever. Anybody that grew up in the church, you knew about the Master of Ceremonies. You know, they're the ones who got up and, you know, and now we're gonna have a solo from, you know, Sister Brown or whatever. Yeah, MCs, all right? So yeah, that's what I relate to. That's what anybody that's watching this podcast, most of y'all probably can relate to MCs in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Some of the great MCs. You know, one of the main songs that a lot of people, you know, got to know my music off of, from TikTok, from, you know, YouTube, just my Facebook friends and family. I came up with a song called Sugar Daddy, okay? So I actually shot a music video for Sugar Daddy, which, you know, got thousands of views on YouTube. And again, it's another great demonstration of what I do, the type of music that I produce and I write. Once again, like I said, you know, I produced and directed this video. Of course, I didn't shoot the video because I'm in the video. But I want y'all to check out, you know, Sugar Daddy by King 40 Plus. I'm gonna play this music video, let y'all check it out. Enjoy, and we'll talk about it.
Horace, you hurting me with that hurting me.
By today's standards, older men who prefer companionship from younger women are often given the label as being quote-unquote sugar daddies. So I'd like to share a story of one I know. Wanna hear it? Here it goes.
Look out, there go the sugar daddy right now. On the 1st and 15th, he bout to cash out. On the young sweet thing with her ass out. Her bills due, so them blue pills coming out. Look out, there go the sugar daddy right now. Right now. On the 1st and 15th, he bout to cash out. Cash out. On the young sweet thing with her ass out. Her bills due, so the blue pills coming out. His name Charles and he go to work every day. Every day, cause the bills he gotta pay. Recently divorced too, so he hold support, granted by the judge. 49 years old, but he a go-getter. He copped an engineering gig, making 6 figures. Went from sitting on a bench at the bus stop to valeting his BMW in the parking lot. A $40 million crib, no more extended stays. But now we getting a little lonely, so he wanna play. He enjoying his success, so what's wrong with that? So he put himself out there on a date now. Look out, here go the sugar daddy right now. On the 1st and 15th, he bout to cash out. On the young sweet thing with an ass out. The bills due, so them blue pills coming out. Look out, there go the sugar daddy right now. On the 1st and 15th, he bout to cash out. On the young sweet thing with an ass out. The bills due, so the blue pills coming out. On the day nap, he getting his likes up. All the young girls searching, trying to come up. 26 with 2 kids, working 3 jobs. She trying to bag her sponsor, and she sees Charles. A profile picture catches eyes right away. Flat stomach, fat booty, and a pretty face. He shoot his best shot, and he hit the game winner. Meet and greet, next night, Red Lobster dinner. Mutual arrangements is what they discuss. She want her bills paid, he wanna tear that ass up. He got a pocket full of 20, so we down with that. Don't try to judge, everybody got their needs met. Look out, here go the sugar daddy right now. On the 1st and 15th, he bout to cash out. On the young sweet thing with an ass out. Her bills due, so them blue pills coming out. Look out, there go the sugar daddy right now. On the 1st and 15th, he bout to cash out. On the young sweet thing with an ass out. Her bills due, so the blue pills coming out. He in that Chrysler 300 and he ride now. He in that Caddy CTS and he ride now. All in his F-150, yep, this is work truck, cause she don't give a damn, long as he catching out the buck. Hey!
But man, Sugar Daddy, man, that song, you know, it's making waves. You know, definitely a song that I'm looking to, you know, expose to a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people relate to it, men, women, you know, young and old. You know, the music video, people love the video. And we definitely going to be pushing that song. The Sugar Daddy Shuffle, the dance, okay, that's gonna be a little snippet throughout the show, and you'll see what I'm talking about. We'll use it as the Sugar Daddy Shuffle moment. We're gonna Sugar Daddy Shuffle it is, and you know, you'll see that effect pop in with the Sugar Daddy Shuffle, okay? Yeah, we try to make that thing big like the Cupid Shuffle, like the, what's the name of it? The Cupid Shuffle, Biker Shuffle, all the other shuffles that's out there, okay? I'm going to kind of talk about upcoming show topics that we will be exploring on the 48 to New 20 podcast, okay? So, Sugar Daddy Diaries, gifts, trips, and unexpected twists. All right, yes sir. So what I need is you people who are watching, if you got some Sugar Daddy Diaries to share, you know, I want you to chime in the comment section, and I'll get at you and we'll get you on the show. All right, that one should be very interesting. How social media changed dating. Wow. Okay, so back in my day, you know, dating was about, you know, approaching women, being confident, looking good, whether it's in the mall, whether it's in the store, the gas station, or whatever, stepping up, introducing yourself, you know, write my number down. I got my black book, write it down, you know what I'm saying? I'm 40 plus, so, you know, it wasn't always, you know, put my number in your phone. Yeah, we had a black book. That's what we had, a black book, okay? We wouldn't break out the black book all the time, because we didn't want them to think like, oh, you just add me to your black book. No. We gotta have our little piece of paper, our little scratch pad or whatever. We'll write it down, put it in the black book later. Okay, but nowadays, chicks is like, oh, you just follow me on IG. I'll give you my IG. Yeah, that's what time we in. So yeah, how social media changed dating should be a very interesting topic. Also, I'm gonna do some motivational topics. YOLO, you only live once. Now this one is near and dear to my heart because I think it is very important for you to pursue your dreams. You do only live once, okay? And at 40 plus, we are in what's called the third quarter, okay? With about 5 to 7 minutes left in the third quarter. And it's 4 quarters for y'all who don't watch football, okay? So at this point in our lives, we definitely want to pursue our dreams. We want to do everything that we want to do, because the last thing that you want is to be, I'm a huge hip hop fan. I used to listen to the Ghetto Boys. Willie D, he had a song where he said, I don't want to be on the porch in a rocking chair and some mismatched dress socks, basically, talking about what I could have. That ain't the lyrics, but y'all get it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? You don't want to be at a point where at the end of your life where you can't do the things that you want to do, where you can't fulfill your passions just because of, physical disabilities and age, that you're looking back with regrets, okay? Les Brown, I believe he said, Les Brown, I think Bishop Miles Monroe, before he passed, said the wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard, the cemetery, because so many dreams went unfulfilled, so many goals were never, fulfilled, never came through to fruition. And that's real, y'all, okay? So YOLO will be a very strong topic. I would definitely have a successful, guest to kind of put their insight in that as well. Health is wealth is gonna be another one. Now this is one that, I'm gonna tell you right now, I kind of struggle with. I got 2 gym memberships, and it's times where they never get used. It's weeks that go by because I'm so busy with work doing this, that, and the third. But health really is wealth. I will have another, special guest talking about that as well. Midlife crisis, is it real? Okay. Now this is one that's kind of personal for me. Midlife crisis. Yeah, you do come to a point when you hit your 40s, late 30s, where you feel like, you're a little unfulfilled. Did you do everything you could do? So I think it's a real topic, but we are going to dive deep into that in one of our future segments. Dating over 40, the struggle is real. Hey, it's self-explanatory. We definitely gonna get into that. I ain't even gotta get into it right now. Family dynamics, are we there yet? So family dynamics, it's just dealing with, parenting, by the time you're in your 40s, your kids, for the most part, if they're not late teens, in college or whatever. And this is a time also, sadly, where our parents are on the decline, okay? Roles are switching, I know anyone that's 40 plus, if we're blessed to have your parents still here, most certainly you're going through that, and that is a cycle of life, okay? So we're gonna dive deep into that. That's gonna be, a mixture of a lighthearted and a serious discussion, okay? The fashion faux pas, okay? So what that's talking about is, how fashion and, clothing has changed. I kind of touch on that in the 40 Ain't the New 20 song as well. No baggy jeans, no more. Everybody wearing things tight. You got guys walking around with purses. I came up in the white tee era. Yep, that's my white tee. Yep, that's my white tee. Yep, that's my white tee. Yeah, so that's my era right there that I came up in. But yeah, things certainly have changed. We're going to get on that. That's most certainly going to be a lighthearted, humorous topic to discuss. Black love after 40. Okay, who out there looking for love after 40 years old? Okay, yeah, that's deep, man. You know what I'm saying? For those of us who've been through relationships, who've been married, some of us, and divorced, you know, including myself, you know, it comes to a point where it's like, okay, once you hit your 40s, you know, you kind of like focus on yourself, okay? If it didn't work out, you know, a marriage failed or what have you, at this point, you know, you kind of focus on yourself. At least that's where I am right now. And so we'll talk about it. You know, I'm not the only one, I'm sure, that's experiencing this part of their life. All right. Is there a such thing as real love? And at what point do you just give up on it? I almost said F it. I'm going to try to keep this as clean as possible, but I ain't making no promises. All right. So our next one, Black men over 40 redefining masculinity and success. Yes, yes, yes. I got some people in mind that I want to have on for this particular subject. This is a deep subject. It is near and dear to my heart. You know, redefining masculinity and success, okay? Because a lot of these youngsters walking around, do they define masculinity? Definitely not from, you know, some of their actions, you know, some of their gear, wardrobe, you know. I just talked about, you know, the little man purses and all this stuff, you know. Yeah, back in the day, you didn't see that. I'm sorry, you know. But we gonna touch on that. We got plenty of time to talk about that one too. Is each one teach one still relevant? Is each one teach one still relevant? Now, this is one that I came up with myself, and it's a real question. You know, back in my day coming up, after getting out of the military's 20s, 30s, or whatever, you know, I always, you know, made it my business to try to, you know, reach out, you know, to, you know, young men and children, things like that. But is it relevant now? You know, are they even listening? I feel like, you know, years ago they did. And, you know, there's always exceptions to the rule. But you see the way that these, you know, YNs, you know, are wilding out nowadays. It's you know, it's a part of you that's like, you know, well, why even waste your time? Okay. I'm sure, you know, as men over 40, you feel that way. There may be a neighbor, there may be a young relative, there may be, you know, niece, nephew, somebody who you're having a hard time, you know, reaching to. Are they listening? Okay, is it worth it? All right, each one teach one. Does it still exist? We're gonna get into that as well. Black men and mental health. Okay, so this is definitely gonna be one of those, you know, more heavy-hearted, more serious discussions. It is something that's very personal for me. You know, here recently, I just went through a very rough time in my life mentally. And, you know, praise God, you know, things are definitely looking up. Has me to this point right now where, you know, you guys are seeing me and doing this podcast. But mental health is real, y'all. It is very real. And that is a huge discussion that I definitely want to have. All right. Over 40 and still wilding out. Okay. Our favorite vices. Let me say that again. Over 40 and still wilding out. Our favorite vices. All right. We gonna keep it real on this one, y'all. We gonna keep it real. And I'm looking for some guests that's gonna keep it real. I'm looking for some people to chime in my comments that's going to keep it real so we can talk about these vices, over 40, like I said, after you go through relationships, long-term, divorce or whatever, sometimes you go back to, some of your old things, some of your old vices, all right? And you might be considered wilding out, Let's talk about it. We're going to have some fun with this one, y'all. The other one I have is Swipe Right for Soulmates. Swipe Right for Soulmates. So, of course, this is talking about online dating, be it BLK, be it Tinder, be it Match.com, all of these online dating sites or whatnot. We're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about, successes, failures, catfishes, we're going to get into all of that. Some of the horror stories and, maybe even success stories, okay? I have actually personal success stories from that. We'll get into that as well. That's a wrap, folks. I appreciate y'all coming, checking it out. 40 Ain't the New 20 podcast. Most certainly, looking forward to these future episodes. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're looking forward to them as well. Please, like this video. Please comment on this video. Please subscribe to the channel 40 Ain't the New 20 podcast. Okay. Like I mentioned earlier, make sure you check all the descriptions below. It's going to have links to my music, my new, my EP that is out, the 40 Ain't the New 20 EP with all of my music on it, songs that you've heard today. Also, I'm going to have links to some merchandise. I probably will be changing up, providers, but the link may or may not be available for the merch right now. Okay. But it will be available. Some of the designs for t-shirts that I've already implemented is, of course, the 40 Ain't the New 20. So give me a moment. I'm going to show y'all this. Y'all can see 40 Ain't the New 20 podcast. All right, so we got that popping off. Also, I don't know if you can hear me. Also, I have several designs based on my music. I got a Sugar Daddy t-shirt. It says, this one for the ladies, taking applications for a sugar daddy. I'm gonna flash these designs on the screen, while I'm going through them. Also, I have the honey pack design. So you're gonna see that coming out for the t-shirts and the hoodies. Also, I have the Proud to Be Unc and OG. I got a couple different versions of that, which are gonna be coming down the line. You'll see. Also, what else? Oh, I got one for the ladies as well. This kind of sexy. This kind of sexy, don't stop at 40 or doesn't end at 40. I forgot what I put on there, but you ladies, y'all gonna love that one. In the meanwhile, I don't want to take up no more of y'all time. Thank you for coming, checking us out, and look forward to seeing you soon. Look out.